Matrices review. This is going to be the first 4 questions on this video. These are going to be doing the addition, the multiplication, and the subtraction. So when we have addition and subtraction, what we're looking for is, does the second matrix overlap exactly? So if I was to copy it and paste it on top, would it just overlap the numbers? And in this case it does. So I want to walk through and do the operations in order of what they need. The negative 5 is going to end up being multiplied to everything in this first matrix. So I'm going to go ahead and multiply it and write the numbers down below. And negative 5 times negative 9 is 45. Negative 5 times 5 is negative 25. Negative 5 times 2 is negative 10. Negative 5 times 6 is negative 30. Negative 5 times negative 6 is positive 30. And negative 5 times 7 is negative 35. My green matrix is going to come down just like it is. So we're going to add that second matrix, and I'm just copying the same numbers. Then we'll combine those two together by the overlapped numbers get combined. So 45 plus 2 is 47. Negative 25 plus 3 is negative 22. Negative 10 plus a negative 4 is a negative 14. Negative 30 plus 8 is a negative 22. 30 plus 4 is 34. And negative 35 plus a negative 7 is a negative 42. And make sure you write that in the matrix. Now we're going to do multiplication. With multiplication, you drop your first, and then you are going to match and create that grid. And so in order to multiply matrices, the number of columns from the first match the rows from the second. And so in this problem, we have 2 columns and 3 rows. And that means that they do not match up, so you cannot multiply these two. But just in case you didn't see that, I'm going to show you kind of how you can see another method of seeing whether they can be multiplied or not. So when I lined them up, I have to go in as I'm multiplying and down on the second. And you'll see that there's nothing for that 2 to match up with. The 3 goes with the 0, the 6 goes with the 6, and the 2 is left out. So that means this is the undefined multiplication one. So the number of columns from the first match the rows from the second. On the second problem we have with the addition and subtraction, you'll see that the second matrix, when I line it up, doesn't line up perfectly. We have these 2 numbers down here and these 2 numbers over here that have nothing to overlap. So this is the undefined addition subtraction problem. So number 4, we drop the first matrix because we're multiplying. And we make our grid work. And we're going to take and multiply 5 times a negative 4 plus 1 times a 2, and that gives us negative 20 plus 2, which is negative 18. Then we're going to do the next one. Negative 5, or we see 5 times a negative 3 plus 1 times 4 gives us a total of negative 11. Next one, 5 times positive 3 plus 1 times negative 5 gives us a positive 10. Now let's go on to the second column. Do the same thing. We have 3 times a negative 4 plus 5 times 2 and that gives us negative 2. 3 times negative 3 plus 5 times 4 gives us a positive 11. Then we have 3 times a positive 3 plus 5 times a negative 5 gives us a total of negative 16. And then in our last column, we have 5 times a negative 4 plus 0 times 2. So that gives us a negative 20. We have, on the next one, we have 5 times a negative 3 plus 0 times 4, giving us negative 15. And then the last one, 5 times 3 plus 0 times negative 5, giving us a positive 15. And so that matrix is negative 18, negative 11, 10, negative 2, 11, negative 16. And the last column, negative 20, negative 15, and positive 15. That's the answer.